into barracks because I have 2 nasty pressure points on the bottom of my foot, and I've been ordered to keep my feet up. So they're kind of up. They're sort of up. I'm sat down. There's no pressure on them. So I'm live as promised. Little bit late, but I'm just going to make myself up and see who comes along. Hopefully I've got everything around me. You wouldn't believe how many boxes I've got around me, because I'm not really supposed to be moving about too much. But I fancy putting some makeup on. And I thought today, bit of MAC, bit of Huda. Let's move away from Charlotte Tilbury for a while to show you that I'm not completely obsessed. So I'm putting on some strobe cream in Peach Light. I could have put this on with a brush, but I don't know. I do like putting foundation on with a brush, but I just don't understand why people have started putting primers on with brushes, because I think it sinks into the skin better when you use your hand. Anyway, this used to be, before I was sort of crazy girl when it came to makeup, right? I had certain staple items, and I used them until they ran out, and this was one of them. And I just, they didn't have Peach Lights back then. They only had the original, which is what they call Pink Light. But Peach Light suits my skin better because the peach, again, peach is a good corrector for hyperpigmentation. Hello to whoever's joined me. So I've just used some strobe cream in Peach Light. And the reason I wanted to do this today is because whenever I wear MAC foundation on my videos, I always get 1 or 2 comments saying, I really liked your base. What was that you were using? So I thought, I'll do it on my live. I will actually show you what I'm using. So this is the base that I use. Now, I got this. All MAC foundations are good, to be honest. But I got this because of my watery eyes, because it's waterproof. And it's called MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation. And I'm in NC35. So I'm going to put that on with a Real Techniques Expert face brush, and hopefully you'll see this, like when I save this, even if you can't join me now, you will see that this is the kind of base that I use when you all say, oh, I like your base, Ali. So I'm just going to pick some of that up and start blending it in. As you can see, it's pretty good coverage and it's very buildable. I'm just going to blend it in so that it doesn't look too clumpy, and layer it up. And I was matched, but even in the few months that I've been matched, it's possibly a tad too light for me, because your skin colour changes throughout the year, and obviously we've just had summer, but as we go back into winter, this is going to possibly even start looking too dark for me. I kind of fluctuate between NC30 and NC probably 37, 38, possibly even 40, depending on how much of a tan I get in the summer. So if you're watching and you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm just going to layer up a little bit more. Excuse me, I've still got this cold and I keep getting a frog in my throat. So I'm going to stipple some of this around my pigmented areas. Ooh, someone else has joined. Hello, whoever you are. And so I'll stipple this So for those of you just joining, I'm using MAC foundation today because whenever I wear it on a YouTube video, you always say that you like it on me. So it's MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof Foundation. Very buildable. It's quite good coverage, but buildable, and you can blend it in nicely to the skin, and it just makes you look very good. So that's my foundation on. Now, the other thing I've got from MAC only recently, I was fed up of all these concealer adverts. There's so many at the moment, and it's kind of a bit overwhelming. And then you think, well, what colour should I be? And it's not that straightforward. It's not necessarily about matching to your skin tone or going a shade lighter, because sometimes it's better to get a warmer one. And I just wanted to experiment. So I got this, which is the Conceal and Correct palette. Now what this is a mixture. It's medium, this one. It's a mixture of cool and warm tones, which is really good because I don't know if you saw one of my videos, but sometimes what I like to do is swap the undertone under my eyes, which a lot of people do. It's a little trick, and they do it with powder. I saw Pixie Woo doing it with powder last week, so I'll explain. So I'm NC, which is neutral cool, which is what they do for warm undertones, to cool it down. But sometimes under your eyes, if you don't want it to look too stark, you can go for a warm undertone but go at a lighter shade. So it allows you to kind of play. And also with these bits that peep through, sometimes covering that with something with a yellow undertone isn't going to do the trick, but if you go for something a little bit warmer, it helps. So it just allows you to play a bit. So also you've got two colour correctors here at the bottom. So it works out very good value, because this little palette was £30. So you've got you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 concealers in there in different shades. So NC30, NW25, NC35 and NW35. And then you've got a mid-yellow and a mid-peach, which is pretty good. And I knew I was going to do this. No, I'm sure I bought it here. Where is it? Yes. I'm not supposed to be moving around too much, guys. I'm supposed to be off my feet. So I'm going to go in. Now, normally what I would have bought would be NC30, because I'm NC35, and go under here. But first of all, I'm going to do a little bit of colour correcting. So where I've got the dark circles, I'm going to put some yellow, which will brighten under my eyes. And I'm doing the concealer phase. Now, I know, again, you know I'm bad with names, but I know there was a lady from Australia, I think, that was going to join me today. Now, can you see how that kind of neutralises those dark areas under your eyes? And this, by the way, is another really good Real Techniques brush called, it probably could do with a bit of a wash actually, the Expert Concealer Brush. Oh, I've got 4 people now, but you're all quiet. I wonder if you're quiet or the chat's not switched on. Can someone just say hi? Just so that I know that chat's working. It's all right if you're all shy. I just want to make sure that you're not actually asking me questions, and that my chat is working. Even if you just put X or something, just type something so that I know that I'm getting messages. So that's the yellow. Hi, Terry. Okay. I am getting messages. Great. Oh my God, you're driving while listening. All right. Well, don't type, will you? I don't want to be responsible for accidents. That sounds a bit dangerous. Hi, Robin. Okay, so I'll recap. I thought I'd do MAC foundation today because whenever I put this on a live, I get a couple of comments saying, oh, what's the base that you're using? And I've looked back wherever those comments are, it's normally when I've used MAC. So I've just showed you. So I put this strobe cream on first, which used to be the thing that I used every single day before I got into makeup and then bought loads and swapped around. This is the one that, you know, in the days when I bought one foundation and one primer and one powder and I used them up before I bought a new one. This is what I used, which is strobe cream, but I used it in the original because they didn't have the other colours back then. So the original was Pink Light and this is Peach Light. And then I've used Pro Longwear waterproof foundation because of my eyes being watery. That's the one that works for me. And now I'm just using this palette, which I've only got recently, but I wanted to try because it allows you to try out different undertones of concealer on different areas of the face. So I've just put the yellow tone under my eyes, but you see where I've got these brown pigmentation marks? What I can do is I can take the peach and I can use that to colour correct them. This works out. I mean, I think some MAC things can be quite expensive and put people off, but this works out. If you compare this to some of the concealers at the moment, I mean, there's so many out at the moment. They're all around £23 to £25, and you have to pick a shade. And you know, if you're like me and you're picking online, it's not necessarily going to be the same shade as your foundation. You might want something lighter for under your eyes, but you might want something the same colour for the rest of your face. This is £30. So I've now got something that's the same shade as my foundation, which is this one, NC35. I've got a shade lighter than my foundation, which I can put under my eyes. Or if I want to experiment with a few warmer tones and see how that works, I've got two of those. And then I've got two colour correctors for £30. So I think it just allows you to kind of explore what works for you. And that looks quite fair, but that was actually an orange corrector. So it's not actually going on. It's not going on straight over the top. I'm a bit gobsmacked. That's... Really? You know that brown dot? It's nearly gone. And I used some vitamin C on it last night. That's amazing. I've only just noticed that. I noticed it was clearing this up, but I thought, well, that's new. But that, you know that little brown dot that I'm always covering up? That was vitamin C, guys. Okay, I'm just playing. So now, if I want to do some concealer, say on this bit here, I would use the same shade as my foundation, which is this one here. So I can do that. So I've got all the shades to do different things on this concealer palette. So I think this is quite good. And you can kind of spot conceal where you want to spot conceal. Now, was that right? Did I put the right? Yes, I did. And you've got the warmer one. So sometimes, now, if I wanted to play, instead of doing the NC, I might do the NW, the warmer one, because that kind of will balance things out. It's just playing around and seeing what works. So if you see, if I put the warmer one under my eyes, because I've got yellow foundation underneath, it's not going to, it's just going to neutralise it a bit and make it look a little less yellow. And obviously I've put that yellow colour corrector on, so I don't want to put a yellow undertoned concealer underneath necessarily. So this is balancing it out. This is years of experimenting with different undertones and stuff, by the way, but it's just about understanding neutral and cool tones. Hi, I realised, Sarah, that you messaged me. I haven't ignored you. I just haven't got round to replying yet. But hi there. Sorry, your message has disappeared. Hang on, let me just... No, it's not that one. It's this one. Live chat. Sat here listening to while watching you. Hope all is well with you. Very well done. And I haven't looked at your picture yet. I have been laid up. I've got a problem with my feet at the moment. I've got 2 broken down areas at risk of infection. So I have been ordered off my feet. Not that you'd know that sometimes from the way the 2 men in my life behave. But there you go. Now I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. Oh, I went into slow motion then. A little bit crazy, which is I got a warm powder because Pixie Woo was talking about getting a, if you cool tone to swap over, like if you got yellow tone, because you often can look a bit washed out. And yellow toned, if you do all yellow tones, then you're going to look very yellow. And I'm only slightly yellow toned. I'm not completely, I'm not that olive. So I got a neutral warm foundation powder, which is probably a little bit too dark, but not if I sweep it across with the brush. If I press it into my skin too much, it's probably going to come across as a bit too dark. But if I just sweep it lightly, like that, it'll be okay. And I've got another lighter one that I can put under my eyes. Can you see how that's taken that yellowness off? Because although I'm olive, I'm not as olive as some people. So if I put a yellow undertone foundation on and then a yellow undertoned concealer and powder, then I end up looking more yellow than I am. It's all about balancing out the skin tone. Now, this was Pixie Woo the other day. As I said, I'm probably repeating myself. But I used to do this with... oh, I know my feet are swollen and sore, but this just distracts me from it. It's hot. And I ordered some slippers from Amazon. Let me tell you this, guys. Please feel free to ask me questions as I'm doing this. I ordered some slippers from Amazon. Now, I can't order anything to put on my feet at all. But these slippers were basically these things that you step into and you pull Velcro over the top. And their straps are not, they don't even look like a slipper. They look like 2 bits of fur with 2 straps over the top. So it doesn't matter how swollen you are. And it said it takes the pressure off your heels. And I've got a pressure sore at the moment on my heels. So I ordered it on Amazon Prime to be delivered today. And Amazon Prime have started using Royal Mail. Now, when Amazon Prime delivers stuff to me, it's fine. Because if I'm not in, if I've gone out for 5 minutes, they just leave it on the porch. But they used Royal Mail. And Royal Mail left a card saying, come and pick it up from a collection box or we'll re-deliver it on Thursday. I can't go and get it because I'm not supposed to be out and about. So I've ended up ordering a second pair because I know I won't be out at all tomorrow. I was literally in the food shop. I thought, do you know what? I can use the second pair. I don't care. I just need them. But it just really annoyed me. But Sarah, I'll show you these slippers. They're really good. And they take the pressure off while you're lying. They're not meant for walking around or anything. And I know you may not be able to walk around, but they're not They're not meant for that. They're not meant for kind of being out and about. They're meant for you lying in bed. They take the pressure off your heels. Okay, and then I'm going to use this. This is another thing. Gradually what I'm doing, as well as the Charlotte Tilbury, I'm trying to build up some makeup that I can use on other people and not just me, because I want to start doing makeovers on my friends and, you know, just and building up a bit of a portfolio, because I love doing it. And so I'm trying to get things that I can kind of, I've got a variety of tones. So this is the thing that's new out. It's their concealer palette, and that's the front of it. So it's got like 3 bronzer shades and 3 highlighters, but they're not like Becca highlighters or anything. They're more subtle than that, but MAC always look good on the skin. They don't look fake, you know. They always look natural. I'm going to take this big powder brush and just put a bit of bronzer on, and then I'll get on to doing my eyes. And actually, if you want, you can, how about, would you like to pick out, I've got about 7 Huda palettes here, because I fancy doing a Huda palette. Would you like to pick a palette for me? You can see how many palettes I've got. Actually, I've got another one. I might just hop across the room and get the other one as well. One that I just got recently. Do you see what I mean? It just doesn't look... You look bronzed, but you don't look unnatural. And I'm going to take one of the middle ones here. Let me show you. And just do my nose contour. I'll take that one in the middle. Sorry, this light. I'm working on the camera, guys. I'd planned to go today to look for cameras, but... Thank you. Can you see what I did is I used an NC foundation, and then I used an NW powder foundation over the top to balance out the yellowness. So it's all about getting to know the undertone of your skin, and playing around over years. That has kind of got me to that point, because whenever people see me and they, oh, she's half Indian, I mean, when I say to a makeup artist, they immediately go for all the NC products. Yep, I'm gonna, yeah. I will. Right, so there's my nose contour. Sorry, I am jabbering on, aren't I? Let's get on with the eyeshadows. Right, I've got loads for you to choose from. Really, loads. And I'm just going to grab the other one. Hold on a second. I'm just going to hobble off and hobble back. Luckily, it's within reach. I'm not supposed to be putting any weight on my foot. Okay, I've got a lot of... Oh, nearly threw them all on the floor there. I've got a lot of these ones that I've collected. So, we have... I've got 2 big Huda palettes. And I've got 5 small ones. Terrible. Right, this is the one I got most recently, which is Sapphire Obsessions, which is all blues. Then I have, and of course I can mix them. Don't have to necessarily just use one. This one is the Gemstone Obsession one. I got a couple as birthday presents this year, actually. They weren't all bought by me. And this one is Mauve Obsession, which I reckon is going to be a favourite, because it's definitely one of mine. Then we have Warm Brown Obsession. I think these were the 2 that I got for my birthday. Warm Brown Obsession. 2 more of the little ones. Electric Obsessions. This one's crazy. This one I'd have to mix with something else. Otherwise, I would look a bit 80s. But you can use certain colours in it. And then The other one, which I think will probably be one of the favourites too, is Coral Obsessions. Coral. That was definitely a present. I just tell everyone to buy me makeup. Now they don't ask me have I got enough anymore. They just know to just get me makeup or makeup vouchers because they know I love it. And then I've got, it's not the remastered one, but I've got the original Rose Gold palette of Huda, which is this one. Oops. That one. Sorry, I've just missed that comment, but I'll get it up in a second. They disappear off screen and I have to kind of retrieve them. So there's that Rose Gold palette. And then finally, I've lost that silly little plastic thing somewhere on the floor. But I will retrieve that in a minute. And then finally, I have Desert Dusk, which is that one, which is also very beautiful. Warm brown or mauves. Let me have a look at what you've all said. So, top chat, live chat. Is that metallic gold? I would like to see that on your eyes. Right, was that must have been coral, I reckon. Do you mean one of these ones, Sarah? That one here. It's sort of metallic. It's an orangey gold. Is that the one that people want? Or one of the bigger palettes? Maybe a full look. Okay. Okie dokie. Right. So we want... do we want corals then? I'm just thinking there's corals or rose gold. Okay, you know what? Rose gold and corals, I can do a kind of full look, I think, with rose gold and corals, because that's got a few autumnal shades in there, and so is that. So let me use those two. Let me use those two. Right, I should probably put eye primer on, but I haven't got that with me, so I'm just going to have to wing this a little bit. What I can do, though, is put some of this MAC powder to set my eyes a bit. Everything's falling on the floor. I'm just trying to avoid getting up too much. This will be all right. So just rub in the remnants of that foundation. I do recommend that you use a good primer for eye primer for the Huda palettes. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but the reason being is that they're very, very pigmented. So you may end up with a bit of a stain, which will go in time, but you know, if you don't want that, then and also with Charlotte Tilbury's Rose Gold, not Rose Gold, Stars in Your Eyes palette. Okay, let's get going with this. Let me have a look at these shades, see where the mood takes me. Okay, actually, what I can also do to prime my eyelids is I'm going to use this one here. That's a good one for cancelling out any uneven skin tone. And then I'm going to take this one in the middle here, this one, to start using as a transition shade. Okay, hold the brush at the end and just start doing. Is anyone else like me really confused at the amount of concealers that everyone's posting about? There's the Jouer one out. There's the Huda one. They all look really good. Then they've had the Too Faced one, Charlotte's one. It just seems like everybody's pushing the same sort of things at the same time. And the palettes, like a lot of the palettes are the same, like the Cherry palette and Charlotte's palette look very similar. And Norvina looks very similar. I wish people would give you a proper choice. Jack makes a good assistant. Yeah, he does, but then you get his shouting in the background. Okay, let's get on with this because I'm sure you haven't all got all day. So, autumnal. I'm going to go in, let's go in with this shade here, up here. I've just had a bit of an idea, I think. That's what I do, is I start something off, and then as I'm going, I come out with an idea. That's what I love about makeup, with the spontaneity. Yeah, they are. And Robin, and it really, I don't know why people have to do it, because surely they'd sell more if they all brought out different ideas, but it's almost like they've all got to compete with one another. Like, who's got the best one? So who's everyone going to rush for, rather than thinking of the consumer? You know, I don't want 4 palettes that look the same, but at the same time, I might want to move away from Charlotte Tilbury, or I might want to move away from Huda and try another brand. But it doesn't really encourage you to do that, because everyone's got the same things. Right, you said autumnal, so I'm now going to build this up with something very, very red leaves. The red leaves of autumn, or fall, as you say in the States, which this one's called Man-Eater. And I'm going to actually take a smaller brush, and I'm going to build that up in the corner, and then I've got something else a bit outlandish. If I didn't have a cough, I'd start singing the autumn leaves. So I'm thinking autumn, I'm thinking the leaves in autumn, and how they always look so pretty, because they've got the oranges, and they've got the reds, and they've got the greens and the browns. And that's what I'm thinking right now. That's where I'm coming from. So I don't know if you caught my Instagram post this morning, but it was a little teaser about next week. So I'm going to be, it is half term, but I'm going to try and film ahead. I'm going to be doing a video a day using certain makeup, which I'll tell you about next week. for Spina Bifida Awareness Week. I'm just going to put this underneath here, and I'll be telling you why I've picked certain items, and it's all in aid of Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus Awareness Week. I don't have hydrocephalus, but it does often go alongside Spina Bifida, so it's a combined awareness week, and Shine works with both. Now I'm going to take a flat brush, and I might get a smaller one because I do know that what I need is within reach. I want some MAC Prep and Prime, and I want a smaller flat brush, and I hope it's not the one that's just dropped on the floor. I bet you it is. It's going to be, because of the day that I'm having. It's going to be... Nope. I'm lucky. It's not. And what I'm going to do, because you said gold and you said autumn, is I'm going to take this green, which makes me think of autumn leaves, and it's a shimmery green, and I'm going to put this either side of my lid. I'm going to wet the brush, which makes it look even more, gives it a bit more of a pop. So that russety green of autumn. And then a bit this side. And then this side. Just need to wet the brush a bit more. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's a kind of khaki green. So I'm just patting that on either side of the lid, and then joining it up at the top a little bit. And then I might go back in with that in a minute. But then, because Sarah said she liked that gold, and it also reminds me of the way that the leaves kind of shimmer in the autumn, I'm going to load some of that on the brush, and again spray the brush. And I'm going to dot that in the centre, and then I'm going to blend the two together. It's better. I do find with Huda that you can be very artistic. I think some people get a bit overwhelmed by her palettes, but you can really kind of play with looks. So you're almost painting this onto your lids because it's wet, so it goes on like a cream almost. So I'm going to just go back in with the green, make sure that we start to blend those two together a bit more. And then I definitely need something darker on top of that, otherwise it doesn't look right. So So I'm going to go back in with, I'm going to mix Maneater and Bossy. So that's Maneater and that's Bossy, and go in over the top to bring that together a bit more. And I'll just place it. I know I've used a lot of colours, haven't I? Will this work? Will this come together? What do you reckon, guys? If it doesn't, it's only makeup. It can wash off. Never ever be scared to try things, even if it doesn't work. I haven't used the yellow yet. It usually does when you... Oh, when I'm... Oh, what, come together? Yeah. Well, this may be the first time. We shall see. I'm trying to get that look of autumn leaves. But you know what? Somebody mentioned yellow, and I think that is basically... Is this because of Wear It Yellow Week? I'm not doing yellow. I'm not doing yellow. I've told them I'm not doing yellow. They know, Shine know I'm not doing yellow. Right, but talking of yellow, I think that this looks quite nice in the middle, but it doesn't quite fit in. So, talking of yellow, let's try this. I think that works a bit better. You've still got the orange underneath, but it just brings it together a bit more, I think. Right, now back in with a bigger blending brush. I'm just going to dot round there with my fingers to blend it together. Yeah, more pop with that one. But also I just think the orange and it didn't fit with the green, and then the burgundy over the top. It's all right to have a hint of it, but it wasn't doing it for me. Yeah, pop of orange. That's right, a pop of orange. And then I'm just going to go back in with that first one that I used, just as a transition, because at the moment I've got a harsh line at the top, and just use it to kind of fade it away into nothing. See, if you ever think your eyeshadow's not blended very well at the top, just get a colour like that and voila. Can you see that? And then with my finger, I'm just going to take this one called Moon Dust here, and I'm going to, with my finger, just pop that under the eyebrow, under the other eyebrow. I think this is just going to be eyes today, folks, or I'll be here all afternoon. Jack will be coming in from school wanting his dinner, and I'll still be on live. And then I'm going to put a bit of this colour underneath called Shy. Because you need to balance out an eye look. If you've got a lot of shadow on your upper lid and you've got hardly anything underneath, it won't look right. So even if you're not one for putting a lot of shadow under your eyes, if you put some quite vivid colours up there and you don't balance that out by putting something underneath, it doesn't have to be shimmery, but if you don't put a couple of colours underneath to kind of balance it out, it will start to look a bit strange, because you just need, I've forgotten what Wayne says, it's something like you need a certain percentage of what you've got on top on the bottom. And then, can I do this with this brush so I don't have to get up? What I want to do is, with the edge of this flat brush, there's a black here. Black's always useful in the palette. And holding my lid down, I'm just going to press this in here to do the line, because it gives you such a flattering line when you're a lady of a certain age, to just take the edge of a brush like this and just tuck it right under that lash line and just stamp it like that. Can you see how it gives you a really flattering line rather than sort of liquid eyeliner? Especially if you've got hooded lids, because you're not taking away too much of the lid space by putting too much. You're literally tucking it underneath where your lash actually goes into the eyelid. Can you see the difference between those two? So it doesn't look like I'm caked in eyeliner, but it does give definition to the eyes. And this is going to bring it together as well. Always, always, always. I always get to the middle like I did just then. And when I was saying, oh, I don't think it's going to work, I'm starting to think it is going to work now. That's why I'm always saying to people, if you're trying out an eye look and you think, oh, I've been a bit too adventurous, this isn't going to work, don't start wiping it off until you've done your eyeliner and your mascara. Because if you watch Pixie Woo, or you watch either of the two, sometimes they're doing eyeshadows and you think, you must be joking, there's no way that's going to look any good. Yeah, especially, I think, when Sam does hers, because she does some quite grungy looks. And she puts something on and you think, what? You know, she's done looks like where she's put black all over her lids. And you think, that ain't going to work. No, love. It ain't going to work, love, as they would say in London. And all of a sudden, it works. So, if you're experimenting, don't give up midway through. Go with it. And then I'm just going to lift that up. Would you put CT Duchess? Yes. Yes. I remember you asked before. I will put CT Duchess on. Don't you worry. Let me put a bit of mascara on and I'll get my CT Duchess. I haven't brought my mascara with me. 1 second. Just hold on. Ow, 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 ow. Right, mascara. And CT Duchess, you're in luck because it's within reach. It's not by me, but it's within reach. Not quite sure it would go with this eye look, but it doesn't matter because I'll take it off. Now, do you see how that black liner and that mascara has pulled it together? And you know what would work really well under this? I'm going to play around when I come off here, or I'll be on all day. But is you can put some sort of aqua green eyeliner underneath. I might do that if I've got time in a second. Right, let me just get my Duchess. Okay, you're going to keep seeing my unglamorous backdrop, but never mind, I'll just get that, okay? I'll hobble. Right. Duchess. The Duchess. Look, I've got it in here. Never know, it might go, actually. Might go. Okay, here's the Duchess. Would you like me to swatch it on the fairest part of my arm as well? It does actually go with it. Look at that when I lower my lids. That's autumn leaves for you. There you go. I'll do it on my arm. So, fairest part of my arm. So it might look a bit darker on you if you're a bit fairer than me. But only a tad. I love her kissing formula because it's really flattering on the lips. Right, I think I have the pièce de résistance in terms of the eyeliner near me. I really hope I do. 1 second. Have I got it here? There's an eyeliner that I've got called Minted by MAC, which would really work with this. Yes. Can you tell I started putting makeup on in the 80s? Just gives it, like, it brings out the green. Okay, I'll finish off with some blusher and I'd better go. Has anyone got any questions before I go? Let me just wipe that off. I don't want to get that on my top. Blush, blush, blush. I've got a Huda blush somewhere. Where's my Huda blush? I definitely have a Huda blush that I got out. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Aha. I've got this. Oh, yeah, that's autumnal. That's autumnal, all right. This is her highlighter, which is in Barbados, which is a cream. Like, it's a primer for the rest of the face. So you put that on first. This is going to pop. Her face palettes pop. They're not for the faint-hearted. Okay, so first of all, let's put a bit of this bronzer on. This is a bronzer, but it's got glow to it. And it's called Aruba. So this one here. So bronze, blush, highlight. And that's the primer cream that I've just put on. And then the blush. I'm going in quite lightly. Good thing about this brush is you can't really go too over the top because it's so soft. And then the highlighter. You'll see this from Mars probably. Okay, so that's my look for today. I haven't done my brows, but I'll do my brows off camera, and I will probably change my lipstick because I do love the Duchess, but it looks more springtime, and the eyeshadow looks a little bit more autumn. I wonder what made you think, Sarah, of Bananarama. It definitely, that is it. Look, my hairband and this eyeshadow, it's Bananarama. Do you guys remember Bananarama? That's exactly the sort of look that they'd have had in the 80s. But I think I'll put something a little bit more sort of a warmer burgundy lipstick on. And I will do my brows. It is, isn't it? I am Bananarama. It's fun though. It's fun. Right, let me just show you the eyes again. You're seeing the orange underneath that yellow, but the yellow's sort of making it more like it does. My lids remind me of a leaf in autumn. Great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll put the details below of what I used, if I can remember. No, I can remember. And let me know. Do you know what? There's so many palettes coming out at the moment. Let me know if there's particular ones that you think. I've been looking at some because I fancy getting, not that I need one, but I fancy getting one. I don't want to get more than one, but I can't decide. There's Norvina, and then there's that new one that's just come out of Anastasia, which is called, I've forgotten what it's called, but it's just come out, which is sort of more autumnal. Legendary Queen, what, the lipstick? You want to see that before I go? I've got it. Yeah, I can show it because it's in this box set. Legendary Queen. I actually... Oh, what? Oh, to put on with the look. Good thinking. Good thinking, Terry. Very good thinking. The other one, by the way, is a Queen, which is that one. But I wouldn't put that on with this look. You're right. Legendary Queen would go with this. I'm just looking to see if I've got my tissues here so that you can see it on. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. You're so right. And I don't have to get up again. Right, Legendary Queen. Now what I can do, let me just experiment here and put, because it's a bit browny and this is a bit pink, but let me just try something. This is the Queen going on top of Legendary Queen. Just in the middle. Like that. That works. Just makes it a little bit more, ties in with the, because that was a bit too browny on its own. Whereas that in the middle, there we go. Thanks for joining me, guys, and take care. Have a great week. And I'm off to get my feet back up on the sofa. And exactly, you've saved me. I can go and put my feet back up on the sofa now and enjoy the rest of the afternoon before my little torpedo arrives home. All right, take care. Thanks for joining me. Any other questions, just leave them below. And sorry if you weren't able to get on live. Will those people that do join me live, if anybody comments and says, I can't work out how to get to see you live, could you help them out? Because I haven't been onto any live feeds recently myself. I did one for Pixie Woo a while ago. But if you're able to explain to them what you need to do and how you get notified when I'm going live, that would really be helpful, because there's a couple of people that can't work out how to get onto it. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Bye, Sarah. I'm going to have a look at your makeup look now, and I'll message you. All right, take care. Bye-bye. I can't.